My beloved child, listen carefully. Do not brush this moment aside. Do not call this coincidence. Do not tell yourself you will come back to this later after life becomes quieter, easier, cleaner, or less overwhelming. Stay here. Because I need to speak to the place inside you that has been exhausted for longer than you admit. The place that keeps moving, keeps functioning, keeps surviving, while quietly wondering why the heaviness has not lifted. My child, you believed many moments in your life were random. Random delays. Random discomfort. Random dreams. Random emotional warnings. Random closed doors. Random losses. Random interruptions. But I need you to know something. Many things you dismissed as inconvenience were actually invitations. Many things you called bad timing were protection wearing unfamiliar clothing. Many things you labeled confusion were moments where heaven was trying gently to redirect your steps. You were not ignoring me because you were rebellious. You were overwhelmed, busy, emotionally drained, mentally overloaded, spiritually exhausted. Life became loud. Responsibilities became heavy. Your thoughts became crowded. And my whisper became difficult for you to separate from the noise. I know. I saw it. Every version of it. I saw the nights where you lay awake replaying conversations. The mornings where you woke up already tired. The afternoons where anxiety sat quietly in your chest and you could not explain why. The moments where you kept saying, "I'm okay," while your soul quietly whispered, "I'm not okay anymore." My beloved child, I called your name more times than you realized. Not to control you. To protect you. Not to shame you. To guide you. Not to frighten you. To keep you safe from roads your eyes could not yet fully see. The first time, I called through a feeling. Not dramatic. Not loud. Subtle. A quiet discomfort. A gentle interruption in your peace. Something inside you hesitated. Something inside you knew. You felt a tug. A slowing. A soft internal warning that said, "Pause. Look closer. Something isn't aligned." But life was moving fast. Schedules. Pressure. People. Deadlines. Emotions. You explained the feeling away. Stress. Overthinking. Fatigue. You told yourself you were imagining things. But beloved, that quiet discomfort was not random. It was my hand touching your attention before the situation became heavier. I saw what you could not yet see. I recognized patterns before they fully formed. I noticed danger while it still looked harmless. I whispered before the storm became visible. Because warnings are one of the ways love protects. My beloved child, the second time I called you, it came through disappointment. And you almost missed me completely. Because disappointment rarely feels holy while you are standing inside it. You had plans. Expectations. Momentum. You thought the road ahead was finally opening. You imagined how things would unfold. You allowed yourself to hope. And then, the door shut. Suddenly. Unexpectedly. Without explanation that felt satisfying enough for your heart. You called it rejection. Failure. Delay. Bad timing. You asked, why would this happen now? Why did this opportunity disappear? Why did everything collapse after I worked so hard? My beloved, listen carefully. Not every closed door is punishment. Not every interruption is loss. Not every denial is abandonment. Sometimes, what you call rejection, is rescue arriving in a form your emotions do not immediately recognize. You only saw the door. I saw the room behind it. You only saw the opportunity. I saw the consequence attached to it. You only saw immediate desire. I saw long-term impact. You thought something beautiful was being taken from you. I knew something dangerous was hiding behind what looked attractive. And because I love you, I blocked what would have eventually wounded you. Not to hurt you. To preserve you. I know that is difficult to accept. Especially when the answer you wanted was taken away. Especially when your heart had already attached itself to the outcome. Especially when everyone around you seemed to be moving forward while your own plan stalled unexpectedly. But hear me now, delay does not always mean denied. Denied does not always mean destroyed. And closed does not always mean forgotten. Sometimes protection feels painful before it feels merciful. My beloved child, the third time I called, I spoke through a dream. Through intuition. Through a knowing you could not explain logically. The kind of moment you wake up from with unusual heaviness. The kind that lingers. The kind that follows you quietly through breakfast. Through work. Through ordinary tasks. You felt something. You knew something felt important. But then, routine returned. Distraction returned. Notifications returned. Responsibilities returned. Life became loud again. And the moment faded. You convinced yourself, it probably meant nothing. I'm overthinking. I'll think about it later. But beloved, there are times I speak through stillness because stillness is the only environment quiet enough for your soul to hear clearly. Not every insight arrives wrapped in thunder. Some arrive softly. In dreams. In pauses. In internal nudges. In quiet discernment. In that unexplainable knowing that gently refuses to disappear. You do not have to become afraid of every feeling. That is not what I am saying. I am telling you to become attentive. Present. Aware. Because wisdom often enters softly before truth becomes undeniable. My beloved child. The fourth time I called. It involved someone you loved. Or trusted. Or believed would remain permanently connected to your story. This one hurt deeply. Because relationships reach places circumstances cannot. You held tightly. You fought for understanding. You tried to repair what was shifting. You kept hoping. Kept explaining. Kept negotiating with reality because accepting the change felt unbearable. You thought, I need this person. This connection cannot end. My future depends on this staying intact. But beloved, not every person connected to your comfort is connected to your calling. Not everyone who feels familiar is meant to travel every season beside you. Some people strengthen your spirit. Others slowly weaken your clarity. Some people pull you closer to truth. Others quietly pull you away from yourself. I know how painful separation feels. I know how confusing it becomes when someone important exits unexpectedly. I know the grief of broken expectations. The grief of imagined futures collapsing. The grief of asking, why did this change? Why did this person leave? Why couldn't I fix this? Listen carefully. Sometimes release is protection. Sometimes removal is mercy. Sometimes what breaks apart in your hands was already harming your soul in ways your emotions had not fully recognized. You thought you were losing something necessary. I was protecting something sacred inside you. My beloved child, the fifth time I called, you were broken. Not mildly uncomfortable. Broken. The kind of pain that rearranges your inner world. The kind that steals appetite. Interrupts sleep. Changes breathing. Changes thinking. Changes everything. The season where you stopped pretending strength felt effortless. The season where survival became the only realistic goal. And strangely, that was one of the seasons you reached toward me most honestly. Not with polished prayers. Not with perfect words. Not with impressive faith language. Just honesty. Raw honesty. Exhausted honesty. The kind that says, I don't know what to do anymore. Please help me. My beloved. Never underestimate honest prayer. I am not impressed by performance. I am moved by openness. Pain did not make me withdraw from you. Pain became a doorway through which you finally allowed me closer to the places you had been protecting behind strength. Because sometimes, brokenness strips away the illusion that you can carry everything alone. And although I do not celebrate your suffering, I refuse to waste it. I heal inside it. Strengthen inside it. Reveal love inside it. Stay present inside it. My child, you thought your pain proved distance. Often, it became the place where I was closest. My beloved child, the sixth time I called, you felt something heavy settle over you. Not ordinary tiredness. Not simple stress. Something deeper. Harder to explain. Harder to shake. The kind of heaviness sleep could not fully fix. The kind of exhaustion rest alone could not completely touch. Your emotions became unstable. Your thoughts became louder. Peace felt farther away. Little things began affecting you more deeply than usual. You started carrying an unexplainable pressure in your chest. You wondered, why do I feel like this? What is wrong with me? Why am I struggling to feel like myself? My beloved, listen carefully. You interpreted the heaviness as weakness. But weakness was not the whole story. Your soul was signaling overload. Your heart was carrying more than it was designed to hold alone. Your spirit was fighting battles your conscious mind could not fully name. You were not crazy. Not broken beyond repair. Not forgotten. You were exhausted. Emotionally overloaded. Spiritually dry. Mentally crowded. Human. And because your heart became so full, my whispers became harder for you to hear. Not because I stopped speaking. Because pain had become loud. Fear had become loud. Pressure had become loud. Responsibilities had become loud. And when the soul becomes overwhelmed, discernment becomes difficult. That is why I kept calling. Not with anger. With urgency. Not with rejection. With compassion. My beloved child, there is something you must understand. I was never disappointed by your tiredness. I was concerned for your heart. You kept judging yourself for struggling. Judging yourself for inconsistency. Judging yourself for emotional numbness. Judging yourself because prayer felt harder. Because joy felt weaker. Because hope felt fragile. But beloved, you do not shame a wounded person for limping. You help them heal. And that is what I came to do. Heal. Restore. Strengthen. Awaken. Because I saw you drifting into survival mode so deeply, you forgot what peace even felt like. You became strong for everyone. Available for everyone. Responsible for everything. While quietly running on emotional emptiness. You smiled while heavy. Functioned while heavy. Showed up while heavy. And almost nobody realized how tired your spirit had become. But I realized. I always realized. My child. The seventh time I called, the whisper became stronger. Not because my love changed. Because the season changed. There comes a moment when gentle nudges are no longer enough. Not because I enjoy urgency. Because danger increases when drift continues too long. You kept saying, later. I will slow down later. I will pray later. I will heal later. I will listen later. But later kept moving farther away. Not because you were rebellious. Because you were overwhelmed. Because exhaustion kept postponing honesty. Because noise kept postponing stillness. Because distraction kept postponing healing. I know. I know exactly why. And hear me clearly, I am not here to condemn you for that. I am here because I refuse to leave you alone inside it. My beloved child, this is your turning point. Not driven by fear. Driven by love. Not because catastrophe defines your future. Because awareness creates opportunity. Because restoration begins the moment honesty returns. Because healing begins when you stop pretending your soul is fine. Come back closer. Not tomorrow. Now. Not when you feel spiritually impressive. Now. Not when life becomes easier. Now. Bring me the confusion. Bring me the numbness. Bring me the fear. Bring me the overthinking. Bring me the exhaustion. Bring me the questions. Bring me the hidden wounds. Bring me the tired version. The uncertain version. The emotionally drained version. Bring your actual heart. Because your actual heart is the one I came to restore. My beloved, you are not under attack because you are worthless. You are valuable. You are not facing resistance because you were forgotten. You are remembered. You are not being warned because you are weak. You are being protected because your life matters. Your calling matters. Your peace matters. Your future matters. And yes, the enemy studies exhaustion, confusion, loneliness, distraction, old wounds, discouragement. But hear my truth louder than your fear, you are not defenseless. You are not abandoned. You are not fighting alone. You are mine. Fully. Completely. Unchangingly mine. And no weapon formed against you will define your ending if you remain close to me. Not confusion. Not heaviness. Not spiritual fatigue. Not hidden discouragement. Not fear. Not old patterns. Not false comfort. Not emotional traps. Not delayed obedience. My light still reaches places your darkness cannot fully understand. My protection still surrounds what your anxiety keeps trying to predict. My love still pursues you through noise, delay, confusion, and exhaustion. My beloved child, slow down. Listen again. The warning was never meant to terrify you. It was meant to awaken you. The urgency was never punishment. It was protection. The interruption was never rejection. It was redirection. The heaviness was never proof you were forgotten. It was proof your soul needed restoration. And now, restoration begins. Not because every circumstance instantly changes. Because you stopped running. Because you came closer. Because you listened. Because you opened your heart again. My child, this is not the end of your story. This is the turning point. The moment awareness returned. The moment healing restarted. The moment you stopped surviving silently and allowed heaven to meet you honestly. Stay close. Stay grounded. Stay prayerful. Not perfectly. Honestly. That is enough. It has always been enough. And remember this final truth before we close, I did not call you 7 times because I wanted control. I called you because I wanted you safe. I called you because I saw what you could not. I called you because your future matters deeply to me. I called you because I love you. And I am still calling now. If this message reached the hidden place inside your heart, type, God, I am listening now. Like this message as your act of agreement. Share this with someone who has been tired, distracted, spiritually heavy, or quietly fighting invisible battles. Subscribe and stay connected, because your next season may begin with one honest moment of listening. You are seen. You are protected. You are loved. And your story is not over.